DVD. Not because I'm a good golfer, but because I signed up for the USGA and to get my hat every year, you know. And they give me and it says how to, it's something tantalizing, like how to hit a good chip. If I could hit a good chip, I wouldn't be probably sitting here. I can't. I'm just a normal golfer. But I get this thing and it says how to play a short game. Short game in golf is the most important, from 50 yards and in. So I look at this DVD and it says, the pro, this coffee, he says, I am going to give you a plan for approaching every single short shot. And my plan is better than your plan because you don't have one. And I thought, he's right. Well, I might say the same thing to you. I'm going to try and give you a 4-point plan and go over parts of it. And then after the 4-point plan, I want to go into a little bit about what we're protecting here and how we're marketing this product of music, or we're marketing the products in the performing arts area, because they are very different, much more sophisticated, and a lot more fun than many other projects. So, in thinking about talking to you, I just wonder what you think the entertainment industry is. The entertainment industry is a whole bunch of people. There's music, of course, there's dance, there's motion pictures, there's audio visual, there's theater, there's any other live, analog, or digital-based media. How's that for a catch-all? But I don't know how to tell you except that every place we go, there's entertainment. As a matter of fact, if you're working on a news program, you're probably doing entertainment most of the time. So everything we get is wrapped in entertainment. I'm not sure that's good all the time. There was a book in the early 80s, into the 90s, that is still being used in many colleges in sociology called Amusing Ourselves to Death. And the book really picks up where Marshall McLuhan, who was a maven of the media, his message was that the media is the message. This book says there's nothing we see, nothing we hear on TV, and TV was his main thing in the 80s, not the internet, that's not wrapped in entertainment. When you watch a news program, you see 5-second hits. When you see anything edited, it's 5 seconds or 4 or 3 or even 2. When you hear a news program, the news program has 1 and 2 line sound bites. Everything's entertainment. Everybody on the news programs and every other program follows this entertainment. So we have everybody involved in the entertainment industry, which should be exciting to you if you want to get involved in it, because there's a lot of avenues. But if we look at the artistic mediums, which is, let's just take music, dance, theater, motion pictures, and audio visual. Part of your plan has got to be, this is not the start of it, but realize that the disciplines that are practiced in entertainment cover a very wide range of skills. There's performance. I would say a couple of you have been in the class anyway, wouldn't you say about 9 out of 10 students in the class want to be performers? That's where they start. Lately, there's been more people wanting to be studio engineers, which is fine because we do have courses for them playing, and we have a good music management program. So, performance is one. Creation is another. Now, when I talk about creating, I'm really thinking of composers or choreographers or playwrights. Well, not playwrights too. That's the creative part. They never get on the stage, they never perform, but they do create. There's the production part of this business. It's a whole different set of skills, but it's very much involved in what we're doing. And then, of course, there's the teaching part. Now, about 4 weeks ago, I gave a talk to a group of music teachers about copyright in the classroom. And I'm going to do that to all the choral teachers in Michigan in August. And I must tell you, it's the second time I've done that lecture, and it's a good thing it was the second time, because the first time I did it, I thought, this is going to be simple. I teach copyright to students. I can teach it to people in the classroom, and there won't be a problem because there's a lot of similarities. Well, there aren't a lot of similarities. The idea of copyright in the classroom is a whole different genre of law than copyright that you deal with in everyday work. If you're a teacher, you deal with a different form of copyright. So I'm saying this only to tell you that those 4 elements, the performance, the performance, creation, production and teaching of entertainment makes our possibilities endless of how you can get into this business. Because there's cross-pollination. If you're a teacher, you make it into performing. If you're a performer, you make it into teaching. I mean, there are a lot of ways to go about it. Just because your rock band doesn't make it does not mean you're not going to be in the entertainment industry. Most rock bands don't. So, then we have the old bugaboo of marketing the product. Marketing the product is something I want to go into here because in your businesses, in getting it involved in this particular area of business, marketing may be the most important thing you're going to see because it's changed dramatically. We'll get into that. Here's my four-part plan. First one is pretty obvious. None of you have to worry about it. Getting an education. It's not always that way. I do have many clients that come into my office that don't have an education. They come in with a band because their father or mother says they got a great band, and I listen to these kids and I say, you don't need music. What you need is an education. You have to go to music school. You want to learn how to compose. You got to go to music school. You have to have some kind of training. Last Friday night, I went to a movie that was a documentary about a group of kids from a performing arts school in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida, right? I happened to be a son of a friend of mine, and he's the one who made the movie. A fellow who grew up here, actually around the block from me, when I grew up in Huntington Woods. And he used to be an advertiser, and he went down to Jacksonville for advertising, and he's now a movie maker. It's called Chops. Have any of you heard of this movie? It is one of the most inspiring documentaries I've ever seen. It takes kids from junior high school and shows them all the way through to the band competition in New York called essentially Ellington. Some of you may have heard of this competition. There are over 1,000 high school jazz bands competing for 15 places in this particular contest. And this carried it all the way through. It was a great idea for a documentary. He never really thought it was going to be a documentary when he started. He thought it was just going to be a whole movie. But he's too much of a professional movie maker to look that kind of an opportunity in the mouth. It's a movie you got to see, and he's trying to get distribution now, but we'll see if he gets it. It's very well done. The point is, these kids, 15 bands out of 1,000 get to New York at Lincoln Center. That's where essentially Ellington is held. And as a jazz band, you listen to these students, and you just knock your head. You say, oh, God, they're fabulous. By the way, six of the bands come from the Seattle area. Seattle is a big jazz area. I did not know that. Anyway, they all had education. Now they're all going to the different great jazz schools. Florida State, North Texas, some of the bigger schools, Berkeley School of Music, that kind of thing. But they have an education and they're only starting. So when somebody comes up to you and you're either marketing them or you're doing something with them and they don't have an education, first part of the plan is not made it. Now you're an alumni of the school, so you're getting an education. You're getting a great education. Are these performance, creation, production, teaching, and marketing. All right. The study of those disciplines in a very serious way and a very objective way is another part of this plan that has to be done by you because you may find out by going at it objectively that you're better suited for another part of the area than you might want to be. Most of the time with college students, they get the idea that they're up against, if they want to be performers, they find out very quickly how good they are. And it's much easier to find out how good you are in music than in other disciplines. You're in law school right now, you don't know what kind of a lawyer you're going to be, and nobody does. When I went to law school, I didn't know what kind of a lawyer I didn't want to be a lawyer. But that changed. And I went to law school not thinking I wanted to be in law. And I fell in love with the law in law school. Well, you may study one of these areas, these disciplines, and actually fall in love with it. From teaching all the way to marketing. And you can get into the business in a lot of ways, but you must study it, do it objectively, find out exactly what the possibilities are. It's more than just entertainment. Performance.